Hi guys, welcome back to DM Tips. This is Jake again. I got a new tip for you this week. Today I'm going to be talking about taking your time. And so what we're going to be talking about today is kind of pacing the story and not getting ahead of yourself just because maybe you think that people are impatient or you yourself are impatient. Just try to pace the story in a pretty organized manner. So what I'm doing right now is I'm running a campaign with about 10 NPCs, so it's a ton to keep track of. You got to keep track of where everybody's at, what everybody can do, this and that, what languages everybody speaks. It's a ton of information to take into account. So what you can do is just don't get ahead of yourself. Give yourself some simple goals for each session that you're going to be running and try to achieve those goals. Try not to let it get totally out of hand. So maybe you just want to flesh out those NPCs for a session. Most people will be okay with that. Just say okay, well, I've got all these different personalities that I kind of need to develop for myself, and to do that, I need you guys to help me. So you can do that, and you over time they'll get to better acquainted with those NPCs, and then you yourself will be more confident in acting them out, and then you can move forward. It doesn't have to be that exact situation. Maybe okay, well, I know the adventurers are going to leave town and they're going to go to the Goblin Cave or whatever they're doing. You don't necessarily have to have them get to the Goblin Cave and start fighting in the first session. They can kind of flesh out their backgrounds. Okay, well, where are you guys from? What are you thinking? What are you doing with your downtime? And that's really where a lot of personality in each character can grow from. Is okay, what do you do when you're not just smashing the enemies? What else do you do? That's what makes you you, really. So just try to connect with your player characters and try to figure out what they're into, and take your time with that. Don't necessarily have to rush into every little step. You can just kind of take some time to give your story more flavor. And in doing that, then things don't necessarily have to move as fast because it's more important when things happen. So what I want to ask is, so let's take just the traditional, farm town needs help, go to the Goblin Cave, slaughter the goblins, come back. Okay? Instead of accomplishing all that in one session, how can we kind of break it down and make it more interesting so it's not so cliched and so predictable for your players? What you can do is okay, so we're all in town, and then, okay, what are we doing? What are we doing for the 6 hours or 4 hours that we have before we're going to go figure this out and start our journey? Okay, and that's where you can find, you can have the players converse with each other. You can kind of give a little bit of life to the NPCs in town instead of just Farmer Dave sends them to the Goblin Cave. Maybe there's a little bit more to Farmer Dave. Maybe you can kind of give him a little bit more than just the template farmer who needs help. Maybe he's got additional problems. Maybe he's trying to start his own business. Maybe he can use the PC's help in another way other than just go clear cave, because that can get kind of boring. So those are the types of things that you can really formulate with additional time if your players are patient enough to allow you to do that. So I guess what I have to ask you is what do you do? What do you guys do? And just feel free to leave your opinions, your answers in the comments section. We'll try to get back to you and start a little bit of a conversation with you. What do you guys do when there's nothing going on? What do you have your players do? Are you guys a crafting party? Do you have them go to the inn? What do you do during that time to help pace the game and kind of give these dramatic moments more importance by making them a little bit more rare? So be sure to subscribe, and share the video. We'd be happy to help you out with any questions you have. You can leave those in the comments, even if they're off topic. We're always happy to help you guys. And then, like I said, just let us know what you do when there's nothing to do. Thanks, guys.